Hey, I am Scott. Yes, I'm still Scott, and I'm still an American in Bangkok. And I am here today with Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom has been on streams before. I believe he's been in a couple of videos here and there. He is a 21-year veteran of Thailand. He's been living here for 21 years now. I think when I met you, you had been here for 15 or 16 years or something like that. So the reason I'm sitting here with Tom today is because Tom has a marriage visa. It's also an e-visa, but I'm going to let him explain that. He has a marriage visa, and he does things a little bit differently. He goes out of the country every 90 days as per the requirements of this particular visa. Yeah, well, let me just have him talk about it, and let me let him take it away.
Hi, Scott. Yeah, I've lived in Thailand 21 years, and I've been a resident of Thailand, although for immigration purposes, a non-immigrant, non-resident of Thailand all that time. I've had non-immigrant B for business visas for a long time. I got married to a Thai lady. I now have a non-immigrant O, meaning my wife is spouse. And I find that's the most convenient way for me. I don't enjoy going to the Thai immigration office, so what I do is I use the non-immigrant spouse visa option obtained from the Thai embassy.
So you go to the Thai embassy in the United States.
I go through the Thai embassy.
Through the Thai embassy, you don't go there.
Right.
You just go through the DC embassy.
Yeah. Pre-COVID, I always mailed my paperwork to the embassy in Washington, D.C., and then within 2 weeks, they mailed it back. No problems, no hassle, no muss, no fuss. It was all easy and done.
And you don't have to show as much money either.
No, I have about $700 in the bank. That's all that's required.
Okay. However,
well, during COVID, Thailand and Southeast Asia implemented a new process called the electronic visa, the e-visa system. And all the countries in Southeast Asia have a similar system now, where I'm not allowed to send my passport. I don't need to send my passport to the Thai embassy. I have to apply for the electronic visa online.
okay.
You create an account on their website. They go through quite a few arduous steps to make sure that you're applying for this visa when you're physically outside of Thailand. I find it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to actually apply for the visa when I'm physically in Thailand, and that's per their intent. But when it's done, I didn't have to send them my passport. It's called a stickerless visa. Electronic visa is also called a stickerless visa, which means they didn't put a sticker in my passport. They sent me a PDF file, and that PDF file printed out looks like this.
Okay.
And you can see the QR code at the bottom.
Okay.
So the first time I came into Thailand under this new system was January 13th, 2023, 3 months ago.
Okay.
I was fairly new in the program, apparently, because when I entered the country on the 23rd of January, the immigration officer he knew what to do with my paper, but I figured that he would just scan it on the QR code, and he didn't have the technology to scan it on the QR code. He manually ticked off. You can see the little ticks on the paper. He ticked off all the information. He manually copied it over to his own paperwork.
Okay.
And I thought maybe I'd have trouble, but he stamped me in with a typical entry stamp for 90 days, which is the maximum.
So that's the difference between your type of marriage visa.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
He stamped me in with a typical 90-day stamp, but he also wrote in handwriting E-visa on it. And so I guess that means that it's an electronic physical form of visa, not physical, meaning stickerless. He also wrote a letter KE659 on my paperwork, and apparently that's the new TM number, because apparently the entry and exit cards, when you fly into the country, you don't have to get those anymore. There's no more TM6 entry and exit cards. So,
now I got to ask you.
Yeah.
What if you lose this? You just print out another.
I just print out another.
Yeah, you have
I just print out.
Yeah, so you don't want to lose the electronic copy of that.
Yeah, save the electronic copy.
Yeah.
So the reason I find this fits my lifestyle is because as I said, I don't enjoy going into the immigration offices in Thailand. I can do it all remotely. I can do it online now, which is really nice. The major limit, though, is that this kind of visa, which is a non-immigrant spouse visa, allows me to stay in Thailand a maximum of 90 days per entry. Okay, I can come and go as often as I want without any extra cost, but each stay is a maximum of 90 days. That also fits my lifestyle. I like to decompress and get out of Thailand every so often.
Aren't you relaxed in Thailand all the time?
Of course I am, but I also like to relax in other places.
After 21 years, you are definitely at the point, and I have seen something written, something to the effect of when you first come here, you think it's a honeymoon, it's the best place on earth. It takes some months or some years for you to realize that the honeymoon will eventually end. And
my observation and my personal experience, usually it ends around 7 years. So if you've been here continuously for 7 years, yeah. But I do enjoy getting out. So my wife and I like to go to Cambodia. We like to go to Laos. We like to go to Singapore. So I just take a weekend trip. It breaks my stay in Thailand according to the rules. We fly out, we fly in, and I'm good for another 90 days. So
what happened on this trip? You went to Laos. What happened when you were going in and out of the country? How did that go down?
It's just like any other international travel. I got stamped out of the country. I got on the plane. I arrived in Laos. I purchased a visa on arrival in Laos, which was 1,800 baht, 1,800 baht. I think it's $40 if you pay in dollars. And that's a single entry, 30-day visa to stay in Laos. Then they stamp in for your 30 days. I spent a couple days there, walked around. My wife was going to go with me, but for her own business reasons, she got busy, so she couldn't go. So I was alone for a couple days. I went to some coffee shops, found some nice restaurants, slept a lot. Then I turned back around. I went to the airport because I flew in and out. I flew back to Bangkok.
So it worked very flawlessly.
It was flawless. It was uneventful. The best kind of travel ever is what we call uneventful travel.
Yeah.
And so, but I have done the overland route, and the immigration rules from Thailand for re-entering the country overland route have changed over the years. I didn't want to risk possibly having more limits. There are no kinds of limits when you fly in and out of the country, so I just chose to fly this time.
Yeah, I think that the limits are basically for tourists.
I think so.
You have this visa. I don't think you're going to have any limits.
It may not apply to me, but I didn't want to test it. It's as simple as that. I just didn't want to test it.
Okay, well, sounds good.
Yeah. So the re-entry, the only re-entering difference that I noticed between now and mid-January was that the immigration officer actually used the QR code that was on my printout. So their immigration computer systems have matured in the last 3 months, to the point where instead of handwriting everything, transferring the information, she scanned the QR code, and it was painless. So it worked well.
Yeah, they sometimes they're a little bit slow. Immigration can be a little slow, but that's anywhere, not just Thailand. But once they get their act together here, they really seem to get it wired, and then it becomes
routine.
Yeah, routine.
In the most complimentary kind of way.
Yeah, no, I mean that. I mean, I think that they're in a no-win situation, immigration, because if somebody can't get in for whatever reason, then they're ticked off, and for some people, that's enough to put them off from coming here. But I think for the most part, they handle things very well. So.
Understand that if you are a traveler, if you're coming to Thailand, understand that coming in without a visa on the tourist stamp is very convenient. But if you're a tourist, there's also another option. You can go through the electronic visa, stickerless visa process and apply for a tourist visa.
An actual visa instead of the exemptions, which you're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Tom,
You're
for
welcome.
your information. You're always a a valuable source of information. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, ask your question. Let me know your own experience, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate you being with us today, and until next time, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke